The orbital station called Elysera Drift hung in deep space like a broken toy. Its long metal arms stretched out in every direction. Lights flickered in some sections, while others stayed dark and cold. The station had once been busy and bright, a safe place for ships from many species to meet and trade. Now, after the Third Coalition War, it felt empty and tired. Most of the docking bays stood silent. Only a few small ships still came and went. Lyrael Voss walked slowly down one of the main corridors. Her steps were light because her bones were thin and fragile, like fine glass. She belonged to the Calith people. They were tall, with smooth silver-blue skin and large dark eyes that seemed to see more than normal eyes could. Lyrael wore a simple white robe that flowed around her like water. A thin silver band rested on her forehead. It helped focus her mind when she used her special gift. Lyrael was a telepath. She could touch another person's thoughts with just a brush of her mind. She could feel fear, lies, or hidden plans. Her people had used this gift for thousands of years to make peace between angry species. But the gift came with a heavy price. Every time a Calith mind touched a violent or chaotic thought, it hurt them. Over many years, too many touches had burned out the minds of her people. Now the Calith were few and weak. Their homeworlds grew quiet. Their children were born tired. Lyrael had come to Elysera Drift for one last important task. She carried secret information inside her mind, words and images that could help the Coalition win the next fight against the Zorath Empire. The Zorath were cruel and worked like a single giant insect mind. They hated anything that did not obey them. If they found out what Lyrael knew, they would hunt her across the stars. To get home safely, the Coalition leaders had given her an escort. Not a squad of soldiers, not a fast warship. Just one human. His name was Captain Elias Kane. Lyrael had met him 2 days earlier in the station's small meeting room. He stood when she entered. He was not tall compared to other species. His shoulders were wide, but not huge. His hair was short and dark, with a little gray at the sides. He wore a plain gray uniform with no bright colors or medals. A simple pistol rested in a holster at his hip. That was all. "Hello, Ambassador Voss," he said in a calm voice. "I'm Elias Kane. They told me I'm your ride home." His words were polite. His face showed nothing special. No anger, no excitement, no fear. Lyrael reached out with her mind, just a gentle touch, the way she always did with new people. His thoughts felt strange. On the surface she saw simple things, the smell of hot coffee, the low hum of the station's engines, a memory of rain hitting a window on a blue-green planet. When she tried to push a little further, it was like touching warm fog. The thoughts slipped away. No anger rose up to push her back. No walls slammed shut. Just calm, endless gray. She pulled her mind away. Humans were new to the galaxy. Only a few hundred years had passed since they left their small world. Many older species called them loud and reckless. Yet somehow, humans kept winning fights they should have lost. No one understood why. Lyrael decided the fog was just a human thing, some natural shield their minds made. It was not dangerous. She felt safe enough. "Thank you, Captain Kane," she said. "I hope the journey will be quick." He gave a small smile. "I'll do my best." After that meeting, Elias spent most of his time alone. He sat in the observation deck for hours, looking at the stars. Sometimes he read small paper books he carried in his bag. The pages were yellow and old. Lyrael watched him once from across the room. He turned the pages slowly, lips moving a little as if he enjoyed the words. She did not understand why the Coalition sent only him. One human against the Zorath? It seemed foolish. But orders were orders. Meanwhile, something dark moved in the shadows of the station. Encrypted signals had started arriving 3 days ago. short bursts of code hidden inside normal station traffic. The signals came from outside, from a Zorath stealth ship waiting in the dark between stars. The assassins inside that ship knew who Lirel was. They knew what she carried in her mind. They had orders to stop her before she left Elisar adrift. The station crew did not notice the signals. Most of them were tired and underpaid. They fixed leaks, served food, and tried not to think about the war. No one checked the old security logs anymore. On the fourth day, Lirel went to the shuttle bay to check on their transport. The small ship waited there, a simple courier vessel with room for only 6 people. Its hull looked worn, but the engines tested green. Elias was already inside, running final checks. He wore gloves and held a small tool in one hand. Oil marked his fingers. "Everything okay?" he asked without looking up. "Yes," Lirel answered. "We leave tomorrow at 0600 station time." "Good." He wiped his hands on a rag. "I'll be ready." Lirel paused. She wanted to ask why he seemed so calm. Did he not know the danger? Did humans really feel no fear? Instead she said, "You read books a lot." He looked at her then. "Old habit. Helps pass time." "What are they about?" "Stories mostly. Sailors, explorers, people who go far from home and find their way back." He closed the panel he had been working on. "You ever read stories, Ambassador?" "Not often," she said. "My people remember things in songs and shared thoughts. Books feel slow." He nodded. "Fair enough." Silence fell between them. Lirel felt the fog in his mind again. Steady, quiet. She almost reached out once more, but stopped herself. There was no need. He was just an escort, nothing more. That night, the station lights dimmed for sleep cycle. Most corridors went empty. Lirel rested in her small cabin. She tried to calm her thoughts. Tomorrow they would leave. Soon she would be home. Soon the information in her mind would help her people survive a little longer. She did not hear the soft click of magnetic boots moving through the maintenance tunnels. She did not see the 3 dark shapes slip past broken cameras. She did not feel the cold purpose in their hive-linked minds. But Elias did. He sat awake in his own cabin, lights off. One hand rested on the grip of his pistol. His eyes stayed open, watching the door. The station slept. The next morning came too fast. Station alarms woke everyone at 0500. Red lights flashed along the corridors. A calm voice repeated the same words over the speakers. "All personnel to emergency stations. Prepare for departure clearance." Lirel stood in her cabin and packed her few things. She wore her travel suit now, thin silver fabric that would help her survive if the air failed. Her heart beat a little faster. She told herself it was normal. Leaving a place always felt heavy. She met Elias at the shuttle bay. He waited beside the small ship. His bag sat at his feet. He looked the same as always. Calm, quiet, ready. "Morning," he said. "Ship's fueled and checked. We're good to go." Lirel nodded. "Let us leave quickly." They walked up the ramp together. Inside, the ship smelled of metal and old air filters. 6 seats lined the walls. A small cockpit sat at the front. Elias took the pilot's chair. Lirel sat behind him in the co-pilot's seat. She watched his hands move over the controls. He did not rush. Every button press looked careful. The bay doors opened slowly. Stars appeared outside. The ship pushed away from the station with a soft hum. For the first few minutes, everything felt normal. The engines ran smooth. The navigation screen showed a clear path to the first jump point. Lirel let her mind relax. She closed her eyes and tried to rest. Then the ship shook. A loud bang came from behind them. Warning lights turned red across the panel. Alarms screamed. The voice from the speakers changed. Now it sounded urgent. "Hull breach detected. Section 7. Decompression in progress." Lirel's eyes flew open. She looked at the rear camera feed. A hole had torn open in the side of the ship. Air rushed out in a white cloud. Metal pieces floated away. Elias did not panic. He spoke in a steady voice. "Computer, seal bulkheads around Section 7. Emergency oxygen to all occupied areas." The computer answered. Bulkhead sealing. Oxygen flow increased. Lirel felt the air grow thick around her face. Her emergency bubble helmet popped up from her collar. Clear plastic covered her head. She breathed fast. "How did this happen?" she asked. Elias kept his eyes on the controls. "Not an accident. Someone hit us with a shaped charge. Small, precise. They knew exactly where to strike." Lirel's stomach turned cold. "Zorath?" "Most likely." He tapped the screen. "We've got company. 3 small attack craft closing fast. They launched right after we left the station." Lirel looked at the sensor display. 3 red dots moved toward them. They were fast. Too fast for normal patrol ships. Elias turned the ship hard. The engines roared. He aimed for a nearby asteroid field. "We can't outrun them in open space. We hide first." The ship rolled and twisted. Lirel held tight to her seat. Rocks and ice chunks floated past the windows. Some were bigger than houses. Behind them, the attack craft followed. They fired bright green bolts. One grazed the hull. Another alarm sounded. Elias muttered something under his breath. He did not sound angry, just focused. Then the worst happened. A second explosion rocked the ship. This time it came from the engine room. The lights dimmed. Gravity flickered. Lirel floated up from her seat. Her body felt light. "Main power hit," Elias said. "Engines at 30%. We're drifting." He unbuckled and pushed himself toward the back. "Stay here. Keep the bubble sealed." Lirel wanted to argue, but fear kept her quiet. She watched him disappear down the narrow corridor. Minutes passed. The ship spun slowly. Outside, the attack craft circled like sharks. They did not fire again. They waited. Elias returned. He carried a heavy tool bag and a roll of silver tape. His face looked calm, but sweat ran down his neck. "Bad news," he said. "They cut the main oxygen line. We've got maybe 20 minutes before the air runs out." Lirel felt her chest tighten. Kalith could not survive long without air. Her species needed clean oxygen. Too little, and her mind would shut down first. Elias moved to a panel in the wall. He opened it with quick hands. Inside were wires, tubes, and small tanks. He pulled out a thin hose and connected it to a spare oxygen bottle. "Emergency bypass," he explained. "Not perfect, but it'll buy us time." He worked fast. His fingers moved with practice. Tape wrapped around joints. He tested the flow. Air hissed out. Lirel watched him. She reached out with her mind. Just a light touch. She expected fear. She expected anger. Instead she felt calm. Steady thoughts moved like slow water. Keep her breathing. Get her home. One step at a time. The thoughts were simple. No panic, no hate, just purpose. Lirel pulled back. She felt confused. Humans were supposed to be loud inside their minds, full of noise and fire. This one was quiet. A new sound came, metal hitting metal. Someone was cutting through the airlock door. Elias stood up. He pulled his pistol from the holster. "They're boarding." Lirel's voice shook. "There are 3 of them, maybe more." "I know." He checked the gun's power cell. "You stay behind the cockpit bulkhead. It's the strongest part." He moved to the door. He did not look afraid. The airlock hissed open. 3 Zoraths stepped inside. They wore black envirosuits. Their helmets had narrow visors. Long blades extended from their arms. Their minds touched Lirel's like cold knives, sharp, linked, hungry. Elias did not wait. He fired once. The shot hit the first Zorath in the shoulder. The alien staggered but did not fall. The second one charged. He used the wall to push himself in zero gravity. He grabbed a loose metal panel and swung it like a shield. The blade hit the panel and sparked. Lirel hid behind the seat. She watched through the open door. Elias fought like he had done it many times. He did not waste shots. He aimed for joints, visors, weapons. When one Zorath got too close, Elias kicked hard against the wall and slammed into him. They crashed together. Elias twisted the blade arm until it snapped. The third Zorath tried to circle behind. Elias saw it coming. He let go of the second alien and spun. He fired twice. Both shots hit center mass. The Zorath floated backward, dead. The fight lasted less than a minute. Elias breathed hard. Blood, green blood, floated in small drops around him. He looked back at Lyral. "You okay?" She nodded slowly. He floated over and checked her bubble. "Air's holding. Good." He turned to the dead Zorath. He found a small device, a tracker. He crushed it under his boot. "They'll send more," he said. "We need to move." Lyral stared at him. "You fought them alone?" "Had to." He gave a small shrug. "You're the important one here." Again she touched his mind. Just a brush. The same warm fog waited, but now she saw something else. A single clear thought slipped through, before he closed it off. Keep her safe, no matter what. Lyral felt strange. She had thought humans were simple, disposable, tools for bigger species. But this human had just killed 3 trained assassins to protect her. He had not asked for thanks. He had not bragged. He just did it. Elias returned to the controls. He patched the engines as best he could. The ship limped forward, deeper into the asteroid field. "We'll hide here for a bit," he said. "Then make the jump when we can." Lyral sat quietly, broad shoulders under the gray uniform, hands steady on the controls. She did not know what to say. Outside, the stars watched in silence. The hunt had only just begun. The small ship drifted deeper into the asteroid field. Engines stayed quiet to save power. Only emergency lights glowed inside, red and dim. The air smelled thick and recycled. Every breath felt heavy. Elias sat at the controls. He watched the sensor screen. Small rocks floated past the windows like slow snow. No more attack ships followed. For now, he had bought them time. Lyral stayed in her seat. Her silver suit felt too tight. The oxygen bypass Elias made worked, but her head hurt. Caliph mines needed clean air and calm. Here everything felt wrong. The ship spun gently. Stars moved in slow circles outside. Days passed, maybe weeks. Time blurred in the dark. They jumped twice using the weak engines. Each jump took them farther from safe space. Elias picked dead systems. No planets, no stations, no signals. Places forgotten even by pirates. He worked without rest. He fixed leaks with more tape. He cleaned filters with his hands. He rerouted power from non-essential systems to keep life support running. When the food packs ran low, he shared his own portion with her. He said he was not hungry. She knew he lied. At night, when the ship lights dimmed for sleep cycle, Elias sat in the cockpit alone. He did not sleep much. Lyral heard him sometimes, soft singing, old human songs about oceans and lost friends. His voice stayed low, almost gentle. Lyral listened from her bunk. The songs made her feel strange. Caliph did not sing alone. They shared songs in groups, minds linked. To sing alone felt sad, but Elias sang like it helped him think. She grew weaker every day. The constant hum of the engines hurt her senses. The Zorath mines she had touched during the fight left echoes, like cold cuts inside her thoughts. She tried to meditate. It did not help much. One cycle the pain became too strong. She floated to the cockpit. Elias looked up from a small screen. He held a tool in one hand. Grease marked his fingers. "You should rest," he said. "I cannot," she answered. Her voice sounded thin. "The noise, it never stops." He nodded. "Engines are old. They rattle. Sorry." He stood and moved to a side panel. He opened it and pulled out a small white box. Inside were soft ear covers, human design. He handed them to her. These block sound. Not perfect, but better. She took them. The covers felt warm from his hand. She put them on. The engine noise dropped to a distant buzz. "Thank you," she whispered. He gave a small smile. "No problem." She stayed there. She watched him work. His movements stayed steady. No anger, no complaints. Lirael reached out again with her mind. Just a light brush. She wanted to understand him. Why did he do this? Why not leave her and save himself? The fog waited. Warm, thick. But tonight it felt thinner. Maybe because she felt so tired. Maybe because he felt tired too. A single thought slipped through. She is fading. Need more oxygen. Need a safe port soon. Hold on, Lirael. Her name in his mind felt strange, soft, like he had said it many times before. She pulled back. Her heart beat fast. She floated closer. Captain Kane. Elias, he corrected gently. Just Elias. Elias, why do you stay? He looked at her. Because the job is not done. That is not an answer. He sighed. He set the tool down. You carry something important. Your people need it. The coalition needs it. If you die, a lot of others will die too. That is duty, she said. But you are human. Humans do not always follow duty. You could run. You could hide. He looked out at the stars. Maybe some would. Not me. She tried again. This time she pushed deeper. Not hard. Just enough to see more. The fog parted. Just a little. She saw flashes. Not his thoughts now. Old ones. A dark room on a human ship. Elias younger. Standing in front of officers. They gave him orders. Protect the Caliph diplomat. At all costs. No questions. Another flash. Elias alone on a station. Watching from shadows as someone tried to poison her drink. He switched the glass before she drank. Another. A dark alley on a neutral world. Zorath agents waiting. Elias moved through the crowd. Silent. Fast. They never saw him coming. More flashes. Years of them. Small actions. Quiet saves. Never once did he step into the light. Never once did he tell her. Lirael gasped. She pulled away so fast it hurt. Elias turned. What's wrong? She stared at him, her large eyes wide. You have been watching me. For years. He did not lie. He did not look surprised. Yes. Why? Because someone had to. She shook her head. There are others. Soldiers. Machines. Why you? He looked down at his hands. Grease and small scars covered them. I asked for the job. No one else wanted it. Too boring, they said. Shadow work. No glory. I did not care about glory. Lirael felt tears in her eyes. Caliph almost never cried. Tears were rare. Weakness. You let me think you were nothing, she said. A simple escort. A tool. Better that way, he answered. If you knew, you might worry, or trust too much, or push me away. I needed to stay close. Quiet. She floated closer. How many times? He shrugged. Lost count. People died because of me. People died because of the Zorath, he said firmly. Not you. She reached out again. This time she did not brush. She touched. Deep. Full link. No walls could stop her now. She was too weak to hold back. He was too tired to raise them. His mind opened. It was not fog anymore. It was a place. Warm. Strong. Built like stone walls around a small fire. Memories stacked like books on shelves. Pain, loss, friends gone, battles fought. But through it all, one clear line. Protect her. Keep her breathing. Get her home. No anger at the galaxy. No hate for the Zorath. Just stubborn will. Human will. The kind that kept their small blue world alive when everything said it should die. And deeper still, something softer. She is kind. She tries so hard. She should not die alone. Lirel broke the link. She floated back. Tears ran down her face inside the bubble helmet. Elias watched her. He did not speak. You carried this alone, she said, voice shaking. All this time. Had to, he answered. She reached out with her hand, not her mind. Real touch. Her thin fingers rested on his arm. He did not pull away. The ship drifted on. Asteroids floated past. Stars burned cold and far. For the first time, Lirel did not feel afraid. She felt seen. The long retreat continued. But now she knew. He had never been her escort. He had been her shield. All along. The ship drifted in silence. No more jumps for now. The engines needed rest, and so did they. Emergency lights stayed low. Only the soft blue glow from the control panels lit the cockpit. Outside, a dead star system stretched empty. No planets, no signals, just cold, black space. Lirel floated near the viewport. Her body felt heavy, even in zero gravity. The oxygen was thin. Her mind hurt more each hour. The echoes from the Zorath mines clung like frost. She tried to push them away, but they stayed. Elias sat in the pilot chair. He stared at a small screen that showed nothing useful, just static. His face looked tired. Lines around his eyes were deeper than before. He had not shaved in days. A small cut on his cheek from the fight still showed red. Neither spoke for a long time. Then Lirel turned to him. Elias, she said quietly. He looked up. I need to know everything, she said. No more fog, no more hiding. Her large eyes looked bigger in the dim light. Her silver skin had lost some shine. She was fading. He let out a slow breath. Okay, he said, but it will hurt you to see it all. I am already hurting, she replied. He nodded once. He reached out and touched a panel. The cockpit lights dimmed even more. A small holoscreen appeared between them. Simple, no fancy colors, just text and images from old mission logs. This started 3 years ago, he began. Human intelligence picked up chatter. Zorath were planning to kill key coalition diplomats. Your name came up often. They knew what you carried in your mind. They feared it. Lyra listened. I was already in the field, Elias continued. Deep cover, small jobs, watching, waiting. When they asked for volunteers to shadow you full-time, I raised my hand. Why you? He gave a small, tired smile. I knew your patterns, where you went, how you thought. I had watched from a distance before. I was good at staying invisible. The holoscreen changed. It showed grainy footage, a crowded market on a neutral station. Lirel walked through it, tall and calm. Behind her, almost lost in the crowd, Elias moved. He wore different clothes, different face paint. He looked like anyone else. The footage jumped. Another day, a docking bay. A Zorath agent slipped something into a food delivery crate, headed for her ship. Elias appeared from the side. He swapped the crate with an empty one. The agent never noticed. Another clip. Night on a quiet corridor. 2 assassins waited in shadows. Elias stepped out. No words, just fast moves. One fell. The other tried to run. Elias caught him. A quick strike. Both down. He dragged them away before anyone saw. Lirel watched in silence. Her hands shook a little. There were more, Elias said. Too many to show. Poisons, bombs, snipers, drones. Every time they came close, I stopped them. Never told you, never told anyone. She looked at him. You killed for me. When I had to, he said. Mostly I just made sure the plans failed. Quietly, no traces. The screen showed one last image. A file photo of Elias, younger, standing in a briefing room. The text beside it read, Operation Silent Guard. Primary objective, ensure survival of Caliph Ambassador Lyral Voss. Secondary, zero visibility. Authorized lethal force if required. Agent, Elias Kane. Status, active. Lyral closed her eyes. You chose this, she whispered. Yes, he said. You knew it could end like this. Trapped, running, maybe dying. I knew. She opened her eyes. Tears floated free in the air. Small, clear drops. Why? She asked. Not duty, not orders. Why really? Elias looked away for a moment, then back at her. Because you matter, he said simply. Not as an ambassador. Not as data in your head. As you. You try to fix things. You care when others don't. You hurt when others die. The galaxy needs more like that. I figured, if I could keep one good person alive, it was worth it. Lyral felt something break inside her. Not pain. Something warmer. She reached out, not with her hand this time, with her mind. She did not ask permission. She just went in. His walls were down now. No fog, no shields, just him. His mind felt like a quiet house in a storm. Strong walls outside, warm fire inside, memories everywhere. Friends he lost, places he left, battles he survived. And through it all, her. Not as a mission, as a person. He remembered her laugh once, when a child on a station gave her a flower. He remembered how she spoke softly to wounded crew after a battle. He remembered the way she looked at stars like they held answers. And deeper, guilt, for every life he took to keep her safe. Sorrow for the friends who died in other fights. Fear, not of death, but that he might fail her one day. And at the very center, a simple, stubborn thought. She deserves to live. She deserves peace. I will give her that, as long as I breathe. Lyral pulled back slowly. She floated closer until she was right in front of him. Tears still fell. You carried this alone, she said. All the blood, all the nights, for me. He shrugged. Someone had to. No, she said firmly. Not someone, you. She reached out with both hands. Thin fingers touched his face. One side rough with stubble, the other smooth. Real touch. No mind link, just skin on skin. Elias did not move away. I thought humans were loud, she said, full of noise, anger. But you are quiet strength. He gave a small laugh, almost sad. We're good at hiding things, even from ourselves sometimes. She stayed there, hands on his face, eyes locked. I am sorry, she whispered. I saw you as small, simple. A tool. You were supposed to, he said. That was the point. No more, she told him. From now on, I see you. He nodded once. They stayed like that for a long time, floating, silent. The ship drifted on. Later, Elias checked the sensors again. A faint signal appeared. Coalition beacon. Far, but real. We're close, he said. One more jump, if the engines hold. Lyral looked at the signal. Hope flickered in her chest. But she knew the Zorath would not let them go easily. She turned back to Elias. Whatever comes next, she said, we face it together. No more alone. He met her eyes. Together, he agreed. The ship turned slowly. Engines hummed weakly. The jump drive charged. Outside, the stars waited. Inside, two minds, alien and human, felt less alone. The hidden truth was out, and it changed everything. The small ship hung at the edge of the final jump point. Engines barely hummed. Power levels showed yellow warnings on every screen. One more leap, and they would reach Coalition space. Safe territory. Friendly ships. Help. Elias sat in the pilot chair. His hands rested steady on the controls. Sweat beaded on his forehead. The cut on his cheek had closed, but fresh bruises marked his arms from the last repairs. He looked older than when they started, tired, but his eyes stayed sharp. Lirel floated beside him. Her silver suit looked loose now. She had grown thinner. Her large eyes watched the jump coordinates glow green on the screen. Hope mixed with fear inside her. "Ready?" Elias asked. She nodded. Yes. He pressed the button. The jump drive whined. Space folded around them. Stars stretched into bright lines. The ship shook hard. Metal groaned. For a long second, everything felt wrong. Too fast, too loud. Then real space snapped back. They emerged in a quiet sector. Coalition beacon lights blinked ahead. A patrol frigate waited nearby. Its hull shone white and gold. Relief flooded Lirael. But the sensors screamed. A massive shadow appeared on the screen. Huge, black, a Zorath dreadnought. It had jumped right behind them. Its weapons lit up red. Turrets turned. Energy beams charged. Elias cursed under his breath. They waited. They knew our route. Lirael's heart sank. The dreadnought was 10 times their size. Heavy armor, hundreds of fighters. Their tiny lifeboat had no chance. "Elias, I know," he said. He spun the ship hard. "We run, buy time, the frigate will see us." The dreadnought fired. A thick beam sliced space. It missed by meters. The shockwave rocked them. Alarms wailed. Hull integrity dropped to 60%. Elias pushed the engines past safe limits. Smoke filled the cockpit. Warning lights flashed red. Lirael grabbed his arm. "We cannot outrun that." "I know," he said again, "but we can make them pay for every second." He turned the ship, not away, toward the dreadnought. Lirael stared. "What are you doing?" "Last stand," he answered. "If we die, we take some of them with us." She felt cold. Then something hot rose inside her. Not fear, anger, and something stronger. "No," she said. "Not alone." He looked at her. She moved closer. "Link with me. Full link, like before. But this time, give me everything. Let me help." Elias hesitated. "It could hurt you, badly." "I do not care," she said. "Together, remember?" He searched her eyes. Then he nodded. He closed his eyes. His mind opened wide. No walls left. Lirael reached in, deep. She poured her strength into him. Her psychic gift flowed like clear water. It sharpened his thoughts, quickened his reflexes. Let him see the battlefield clearer than any sensor. She felt his pain, his exhaustion, his fear, not for himself, but for her. She pushed it back with calm, with trust. Together, their minds became one weapon. Elias flew the ship like never before. He dodged beams that should have hit. He used asteroids as shields. He fired the small point defense guns with perfect aim. Every shot hit weak points, sensor arrays, engine vents, fighter bays. The dreadnought's fighters launched, dozens, swarming like angry insects. Lirael guided him. She felt their hive minds, cold, linked. She sent small bursts of confusion into them, not enough to break them, just enough to make them hesitate. Elias used the opening. He rolled the ship between two fighters. Guns blazed. Both exploded in bright fire. The dreadnought fired again. A beam grazed their hull. Air hissed out. Gravity failed completely. Objects floated. Lirael kept linking. Her head throbbed. Blood trickled from her nose inside the bubble helmet. She ignored it. The coalition frigate finally moved. It charged forward. Its big guns opened fire. Beams struck the dreadnought's side. Armor cracked. The Zorath ship turned to face the new threat. Elias saw the chance. He aimed their small ship straight at the dreadnought's damaged engine section. No missiles left, just the ship itself. "Brace," he said. Lirael held tight to his arm. They slammed into the engine cowling. Not a full crash, a controlled strike. The lifeboat's reinforced nose punched through weak plating. Explosions bloomed inside the dreadnought. Secondary blasts rippled along its hull. Elias pulled them out at the last second. The ship spun away, trailing fire and debris. The dreadnought listed. Engines died. Weapons went dark. It drifted, helpless. The Coalition frigate closed in. Tractor beams locked on the lifeboat. Gentle pulls brought them to the docking bay. Inside the frigate, medics rushed forward. Lirael and Elias floated out on stretchers. Oxygen masks pressed to their faces, bright lights overhead. Lirael woke first. She lay in a soft medical bed. Clean air filled her lungs. Her headache was gone. Strength returned slowly. She turned her head. Elias lay in the next bed. Bandages covered his chest and arms. Machines beeped softly beside him. His eyes were closed, breathing steady. She reached over. Her thin fingers found his hand. She held it. He stirred. Eyes opened slowly. "Hey," he said, voice rough. "Hey," she answered. He looked around. "We made it." "Yes." He smiled. Small, tired, real. Medics came. They checked them both. Elias had cracked ribs, burns, blood loss. Nothing he could not survive. Lirael had psychic strain, dehydration. Rest would fix it. Later, when the room was quiet again, Lirael spoke. "You never told me," she said softly. "All those years, all those fights, you never asked for anything." "Didn't need to," he replied. "You were safe. That's enough." She squeezed his hand. "It is not enough anymore." He looked at her. "I see you now," she said, "not as a human, not as a soldier, as Elias, the one who stayed, the one who cared." He swallowed. No words came. She leaned closer. "Thank you for every quiet moment, every hidden save, every night you watched over me alone." He closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them, they looked brighter. "You're welcome," he said simply. Outside the window, stars shone. Coalition ships moved in formation. The war continued. But for now, in this small room, peace existed. Lirael looked out at the stars. She no longer saw them as cold and distant. She saw them as something humans had always fought for. Home, hope, a place worth protecting. She turned back to Elias. "Rest," she told him. "I will watch now." He gave a faint smile. "Deal." His eyes closed again. Breathing evened out. Lirael sat beside him, hand still in his, mind calm. The galaxy was big, dangerous, full of shadows, but she knew one truth now. When the dark came, humans did not run. They stood, quiet, stubborn, unbreakable. And sometimes, one of them chose to stand for someone else, all along. She touched his hand again. No mind link needed. Just touch. Just trust. The stars watched in silence, and for the first time in many years, Lirael felt no fear.